How many auditions does it take you to book your first job? Hi, I'm Jesse Carroll, professional voice actor and coach. So this is one of the top questions I get asked all the time is, how long does it take you to actually book your first job? So I think that's actually the wrong question. What you should be asking is, how many auditions does it take you to book your first job? See, I think we can agree when you're starting out, you're probably not gonna get a job offered to you unless you're lucky, and we don't bank on luck on this channel. We bank on facts and statistics. So all things being equal, your first job is gonna come from an audition. So if you're auditioning once a day, it's gonna take you longer to book your first job than it will if you're auditioning 20, 30, 40 times a day, right? So it's not how long it will take you to book your first job, it's how many auditions will it take you to book your first job. Now, as I always say, it's different for everybody, okay? So to give you an example, my student Allison, who was featured on the channel recently, she booked her first 2 jobs in under her first 50 auditions. So it was like, what, number 40 and number 41 or something like that. She booked her first 2 jobs, like back to back. My student Ross, he booked his first job, I think it was like 45 auditions, and his second one was shortly after that, and he actually beat me out for that job. For me, it took me 250 auditions for me to book my first job, but I didn't let that stop me. No, that's 250 auditions. That's longer than any student I've ever trained. That's longer than, it took me longer to get a job than anybody I've ever heard of. And look where I'm at now. 250 auditions is a really, really long time. It took me forever, but I didn't let it stop me. You know, for the 249 auditions before that, I just kept grinding, kept working out my VO muscles over and over and over and over again. And while I was waiting to book my first job, I was getting better. I was getting exposed to more scripts, more styles, more direction, because I was actually getting exposed to real auditions. And that's just gonna make you better. It really is. And that whole time I was working on all that stuff, I was just laying the foundation for rapid growth later on. Now, I think one of the reasons it took me 250 auditions to book my first job was because I wasn't getting coaching at the time, but I was getting better. I didn't have the budget for hiring a coach, but I didn't let it stop me. I just went for it. You gotta start where you're at. If you can't afford coaching, just get in the game. You're not bringing the industry down. You're not gonna embarrass yourself. No one's gonna care. They're gonna listen to 2 seconds of your audition, and if it's no good, they're just gonna move on. They're never gonna think about you again. But in that time, you're practicing and you are getting better. The simple act of getting in front of a microphone and reading copy, reading out loud over and over and over, that will get you better. Untrained practice is still practice. And anybody who tells you different doesn't know what they're talking about. Practice will get you better. Will training plus practice get you there faster? 1,000%. I'm all for it. In fact, I recommend getting a coach, but not one in place of the other. If you're coaching, you better be auditioning too, so you can put what you're learning into practice. If you're just going to once a week script reading classes, sure, maybe over a long period of time, you'll get better. So you're reading, like I've said before in many videos, like usually, I don't know, if you're in a group once a week class, you're reading like maybe 2 scripts over the course of 3 hours and watching everybody else. So, 2 scripts once a week for a month, that's 8 scripts where you could do that in a day, So the idea is to do either private lessons or a weekly script reading class and audition. Do them both if you can afford to do them both. But if you can't afford to do them both, I say just get in the game. Get skin in the game, get on a casting site, and start auditioning. And start booking jobs, and with the money you're making, start hiring a coach. That is what I did, and it does work. You can do it that way. I do not recommend just doing coaching and waiting until the coach says that you're good. I used to do a lot of martial arts when I was a kid, and there's this old story that my Kung Fu teacher told me. Because when you're studying Kung Fu, it can take a really long time to progress. So the story is told, and the story goes that there was this man whose village was basically overrun by gangsters, and they ran everything, and he was just fed up with it. So he went to the Shaolin Temple to go learn Kung Fu so he could get rid of the gangsters in his town and give everybody their life back. So he goes to the Shaolin Temple to learn Kung Fu, and he's there for like 6 months. And the whole 6 months that he's there, they don't teach him one move. All he does is his whole job is to go to this big, huge cauldron filled with water and slap it out. Slap the water out with his hands over and over and over and over all day long, all day long for 6 months. This is all he does. Slap water out of a cauldron. As soon as it's empty, fill it right back up, does it again from morning till night. So 6 months in, he's in the mess hall eating with all the other monks, and his master asks him, how's your Kung Fu training going? How are you liking it? And he loses it. Guy loses his mind. He's like, I have been here for 6 months. You haven't taught me one Kung Fu move. Takes his hand, smacks it on the table, solid oak table, splits it in half. That was his first Kung Fu move. Didn't even know he was learning it. The moral of the story is repetition, 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 and practice, practice, practice will make you ungodly good in a way that class really can't. You need both. You need the guidance of a wise teacher, a wise Kung Fu master, a wise VO Kung Fu master, and you need a lot of practice. If you put those two together, you will be unstoppable. So, the moral of the story is practice, 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 audition, audition, audition. Get yourself a coach who's positive, not a negative one, a positive one who has done it and is currently a voice actor, not a voice coach, but a voice actor, and happens to coach. Do that, and you will be unstoppable. And who knows? You might book a job in your first 50 auditions, you might book it in your first 100. It might take you longer than me to book your first job, but don't let it stop you, because once you start developing the skills from doing it over and over and over and practicing and practicing, practicing, you'll be unstoppable after. It'll start feeling like it's automatic, especially if you know what your booking rate is. You'll start to know that you need to do a certain amount of auditions to book a certain amount of work. And then your income becomes predictable. And that's when the fun really starts. All right, everybody, that is it. That is my rant for this week. Thank you so much to everybody who has been subscribing. Right now, I've got, I think it's 990 subscribers. So by the time you see this content, I will likely have 1,000 subscribers. I will cross that big bad milestone. And it's just amazing to me because, I was just doing a coaching with a guy who'd been watching my videos for a while. And he was saying that he was watching my videos back 8-9 months ago when I only had 10 subscribers. And he said it was a real pleasure to watch me grow the way I have been. And it's not me, it's you guys. You really do keep me going. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share this with someone who might get some value out of it. If you're interested in training with me or coaching with me, check the description below. There's lots of ways to do it. I just launched a new community a little while ago. It's going amazing. It's a great place where people are sharing secrets and how to actually get ahead in this business. Lots of mini courses and all that. So anyway, check the description below if you're interested in working with me. Book a free 15-minute call. It's free. We can talk about it in person, see if we're fit. All right, that's it. That's all. Thanks again, guys. 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one.